So, as we all know, endocrine system usually related with hormone that function to facilitate any body functions or processes. And what is phase state? What do endocrine function during phase state, and also what hormone involved during phase state? Phase state occurs after a person having a meal where your body is digesting the food and absorbing the nutrient. The food, which lasts about 3 hours after a meal is ingested. After the food is being ingested, the absorption process takes place. This phase state reflects overall anabolic metabolism, during which energy is stored in the form of energy-rich compounds, ATP, glycogen, fat, and proteins. The end products of the digested food like glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids will be absorbed by the small intestine, particularly in duodenum. Then, these products will enter the bloodstream or lymphatic systems and will be transported to the liver for fat storage and protein synthesis. During phase state, the brain and central nervous system are solely dependent on glucose as an energy source.
The endocrine system carries messages to the organs of the body by way of highly specialized substances called hormones. This system depends upon the vascular system to carry messages to target tissue. In phase state, insulin is the hormone that plays an important role for fuel storage, as glycogen and fat regulate blood glucose level and produce energy. Insulin is a major anabolic hormone that impacts glucose, lipid, and amino acid synthesis and storage. Endocrine organs are distributed throughout the body, and most are involved primarily with nutrient ingestion, which is gastrointestinal tract. Pancreas, for example, produces insulin, which regulates fuel homeostasis in phase state. During phase state, parasympathetic nervous systems were stimulated to increase the intestinal and gland activity, as well as decrease the heart rate. Parasympathetic nervous system, also known as rest and digest system. In response to parasympathetic nervous system, hormonal message stimulate beta cell of pancreas to secrete insulin hormone into the bloodstream. The liver is the first tissue to have the opportunity to use dietary glucose. During phase state, insulin hormone is increased to regulate blood glucose level and promote the synthesis of protein in muscle. Insulin is the hormone secreted by beta cells, primarily responsible for the direction of energy metabolism during phase state. The figure shows that insulin dominates in phase state. Insulin effects can be categorized based upon the time of action as 1. Very fast, occurring in a matter of seconds. 2. Fast, in minutes. And 3. Slower, minutes to several hours. And 4. Slowest, after several hours or even days.
Glucose from the bloodstream was transported into the liver and will be converted into pyruvate to produce energy in the form of ATP through glycolysis process. Then, the pyruvate will be converted into acetyl-CoA and enter the Krebs cycle to produce more energy in the form of ATP. Meanwhile, carbon dioxide will be produced as a metabolic waste. The energy produced will be used by the organ, body cells, and tissue to function. excess glucose that has been transported to the liver will be converted into glycogen by insulin hormone. This process is called glycogenesis. The storage of glucose in the form of glycogen in the liver will be used for later energy or during fasting state. Acetyl-CoA also can form triglycerides and will be packaged up by the liver to form lipoprotein, and then lipoprotein will travel through the bloodstream to enter the adipose tissues for fat storage.
After having a meal, blood glucose level increase, which the excess glucose in the bloodstream can enter the adipose tissue and will be stored as triglycerides in adipose tissues. Skeletal muscle also use glucose in the blood as source of energy for movement and stored as glycogen in muscle. Besides, amino acids are absorbed into the bloodstream and taken up by the liver for protein synthesis. The uptake of amino acids are stimulated by the insulin. Meanwhile, fatty acids and monoglycerides in duodenum cannot be absorbed into the blood but will be absorbed into the lymphatic system. In more details, fatty acids and monoglycerides leave micelles and enter epithelial cells. Fatty acids links to form triglycerides. Fatty globules combine with protein to form chylomicrons. Chylomicrons are extruded from epithelial cell and enter lymph capillary. Triglycerides in lymphatic vessels will be carried into the thoracic duct to enter the bloodstream. Once the triglycerides enter the bloodstream, it will be transported into the liver and packaged up as lipoprotein. Lipoprotein enter the adipose tissue for fat storage. Overall, the process involved in fat state is glycogenesis, glycolysis, lipogenesis, and protein synthesis.